What's up guys, today we're talking about Fuji road bikes from the competition series. Yesterday we did cover the endurance series, which is more comfort oriented, and today we're talking about those racing machines. By the way, Fuji is making awesome bikes, but their website is kind of poor. It doesn't give us all the overviews of those models or some infos about features and technology, so I'm gonna try to break it down for you so that you can buy the right bike. So 5 models here. We have Fuji SL, Fuji Transonic, Fuji Altamira Supreme and Fuji Roubaix. 4 of those models are made of carbon, and the last one here, Rubé, is the aluminum bike. And Rubé, that's the name, kind of confusing. You will see why just in a second. Supreme, these are the women specific bikes, so the geometries, handlebars, saddles and so on are women specific. That's Supreme. Among the carbon bikes, we have 3 different grades of carbon fiber and carbon layup made by Fuji. Fuji calls it C5, C10 and C15. And I'm going to show you which one will have what kind of carbon fiber. And just as it was among the endurance bikes, the first number indicates the type of the frame, of the material of the frame set, and the second one is like the level of the components. So all those SL 1.1, 1.3, 1.5 will have same frame set, then 2.1, 2.3, 2.5 will have same frame set, and so on with different models here. The only model that has this highest ultra high modules carbon fiber is SL1 series, and that's the racing machine of Fuji. So that's the lightest, stiffest perhaps also bike made by Fuji. You can see all those infos here. The frame is broken into main frame and rear triangle. So main frame C5 ultra high modules carbon with some high compaction molding system. Then C15, the same kind of carbon for the rear triangle, and the fork is FC330. You can just be looking at these numbers here because those will indicate what kind of fork you have on your bike. So that will be the most expensive and the best one for like uphills, for any kind of grand tours. So that's the SL1 model. Then we have SL2, which will have just the lower grade of the carbon fiber, and that's the C10 carbon fiber, still ultra high modulus carbon, both for the main frame and rear triangle, and FC440 carbon here. I'm not talking about the components because the components just change. You can replace those, you can upgrade, you can downgrade. But if I was to make my choice between those bikes, SL, I would go either for SL1 frame set or SL25 whole bike, because if you don't want to be purchasing all this, completing all these components and putting them together, purchasing the cheapest version of components is the best choice in my opinion, because you will really want to upgrade your wheels. Maybe you want to have like low profile for mountains, maybe you want to have high profile. So if you just look at this SL11 with those really cool Reynolds wheels, you can just pay a lot of money for this bike, which is $10,000. And still maybe you will just discover that low profile wheels are better for your area where you train on some mountains. So my tip is you either go for SL11 frame set, and it's cool that Fuji gives us this option, or SL25 and then any upgrade. So these were those racing light machines, and then we have Transonic. Transonic SL and Transonic 1 here will share same carbon layup, which is the C10, if I remember well, that's right, C10 ultra high modulus. And then the 2-point model will have this lowest one, which is the C5. What's the Transonic made for? Transonic is just like Merida Reacto versus Merida Sculptura. So here we have Transonic versus the SL model. It will still be made very light, made for racing, but more aero oriented. So maybe a bit more weight, for sure, a bit more weight, but and maybe less compliance but more aero. So if you're gonna go for some flats roads with really high speed, the Transonic would be the one to go for. And I don't know, I would go for the lower grade carbon, because this more expensive carbon will be stiffer, will be lighter, but still I think that the C5 carbon layup, the carbon fiber, will be just enough and as strong, at least as strong as the C10. That's what I think. So this is more aerodynamic bike range Transonic, from Transonic SL, from Transonic 1 to 2.9. We have also Transonic SL frame set, which is cool. And then we have Altamira. Really nice bike, and I think it will be choice of maybe most of the buyers from Fuji. We have carbon bike, but what's surprising for me is that that's the only model on this competition range that has the alloy steerer of the fork. So this one has the lowest high modulus carbon. It's not ultra high modulus, it's C5 high modulus carbon layup with FC770 carbon fork blades and alloy steerer. So that's kind of surprises me. I know it's the most affordable carbon bike, but when you go for Roubaix, which is the aluminum frame set, it will have a full carbon fork. I would rather like to have like carbon bike with full carbon fork and maybe alloy steer on the carbon blades fork, bladed fork with the alloy frame set. That's what I think. So Altamira, really nice choice. My choice here would be definitely the Altamira 1.3 once more. I would go for the lowest components, and first thing I would replace is the wheels. So I don't want to have like 11 speed. Is this one 10 speed? No, it's already 105 11 speed, but even if it was like Tiagra 10 speed, I would rather like to have Tiagra 10 speed and some nicer wheels on this one. And then Roubaix, you know, can be kind of confusing, because you might think that this is like super comfy bike. Super comfy is the Gran Fondo. Roubaix is the more classic style racing aluminum frame set. So this one won't be super compliant. It doesn't have any crazy features for you know, some vibration damping and so on. You don't see that. It looks kind of classic. It has the asymmetrical chainstays, which is flattened on the non-drive side and oval on the drive side. That's for more stiffness actually, and that wouldn't be the bike I would go for really, because one would cost $1,300 here, and Altamira where is she? Altamira 1.3 would cost $1,470. So I would really like to go rather for Altamira than the Roubaix. Now, geometry. We have here SL, SL2, Transonic, Altamira and Roubaix. When we look at the geometries, it's really important to be looking at stack and reach. And for SL1 and SL2, it's absolutely the same. For Transonic SL, the more aero, that's also kind of surprising. It's almost the same geometry. There will be just a bit shorter head tube. Head tube here will have 155 for SL model, and 150. No, it's actually the same. The stack will be just bit different. But the most comfortable bike here is the Altamira. It's not the Rubé, but Altamira, which has longer head tube, and as you can see, it will just be higher, because the stack of this one for large size is 580. For those models is 557, 556. 559. So Altamira is really the most comfy. And then when we go to Roubaix, the cheapest one, the alloy one, it goes back to more racing position. So 560 as a stack for the Roubaix, and 580 for Altamira. That's surprising. I would rather expect having 580 for this cheapest alloy model rather than the Altamira. But I think Altamira will still not be like with a too long of a head tube. It will give you really the racing position if you want to, and that would be, I think that will be the most appreciated model by Fuji customers. That's what I wanted to show you about Fuji bikes. Now you know exactly what are the differences. Really cool bikes. I don't know about Roubaix. I would expect that that Fuji will come with new Roubaix very, very soon. Thanks for watching. Put some comments or questions below the video, and thank you for your thumbs up. I will see you soon. Bye bye.